Get the meeting of the USD-457 Board of Education underway here. I think we'll start with the flag salute. And do we have some students from Alta Brown ready to help us with that? Call them into the room. Alta Brown students, lead us in something here. I'll let you guys start.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. You all may be seated, and we normally take a photo op with the students that help us with this. So I think we'll go ahead and do that now, and then we'll get into the agenda. Sure. If you students want to step forward one step. Just step forward, just move on. We'll get behind you all anyway. Okay, photographer, how we doing?
Good. Everybody ready? Okay, right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Following our agenda here, I believe we're ready to approve the agenda.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agenda with the following amendment. 1, additional certified and classified personnel actions for consideration, item number E-3.
Okay. Do I have a second? Okay, Laura seconds. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor indicate by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion passed. Okay, we have delegations, public comments. Do we have any public comments? Okay. Well, we're ready for School Board Recognition Month, January. School Board Recognition. Oh, okay. Who's doing that? Okay.
So January is National School Board Recognition Month, and we are happy to recognize our board for their service. Many people don't realize this, but unlike some elected positions, school board members do not receive any kind of compensation for their service. And as I'm sure these people would tell you if you asked, they probably wouldn't volunteer it. They do spend a considerable amount of time in their role as board members. We send them a tremendous volume of information that they have to read and keep up with and prepare for meetings. They participate in training. They spend time in our community representing the district and out in our schools. So we really do appreciate all that time and your commitment to being an outstanding board member. And that was not good.
Maybe it's something you left out.
All right, yeah, my timer was going off there. So we have some certificates for these people. First, Laura Bors. Tim Hannigan. Vice President of our board, Dana Hannigan. And Board President, Mark Root.
Thank you very much for that. Dr. Carlin?
Oh, and Polly has something she wants to add here.
On behalf of Health Services, we would like to say thank you as well for your dedication and commitment and serving on the board. We appreciate your leadership and being there for us always. We especially thank you for always having the wellness and the health of our students and staff at the forefront. So we have a small token of thank you gift for you from Health Services, and we also want to invite you to Health Awareness Week is next week, and the mayor will be reading the proclamation on Monday at Florence Wilson, so we have a small invitation for that as well. Several of the nurses, I'm going to have them introduced, and then they'll give you a small gift.
Hi, I'm Darlene Coffey, and I'm at Bernadine Sitz Intermediate Center.
I'm Allison McVeigh, and I'm at the high school.
I'm Teresa Utes, and I have Gertrude Walker and Jenny Barker.
I'm Lana Knoll, and I'm at Horsegood Middle School.
I'm Michelle Scholl, and I'm at AP Red Elementary.
And I'm Kim Kreitzer, and I'm at Charles Stone's Intermediate Center.
I'm Michelle Spankler, and I'm at Kenneth Henderson.
Thank you. Dr. Carlin will give you the extras to give to the other board members, okay? Okay.
Thank you so much.
We hope we don't have to give you first aid tonight, but a small first aid kit for the class.
Thank you all very, very much. That's wonderful. Okay. Okay, item C2, building presentation out to Brown Elementary School. We're ready for that.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Julie Cobridge from the principal at Alta Brown Elementary. And this evening we have our student council members here that are going to help us do our presentation. Boys and girls, when I call your name, if you will just wave so that they know who you are. Okay, starting with, we have Madison Guzman. She's a 4th grader. We have Christian Guzman. He's a 3rd grader. Eileen Robledo. Angela Lopez is not here this evening. We have Yanisty Deathridge, Ana E. Perez, Beatrice Chavez Garcia, Renardo Owens, Itzel Rivera, Joanna Estrada, Barbara Vargas, and Brandon Moreno. These are all 3rd and 4th graders at our school, and they make up our student council. So we also have our student council sponsors. We have Tara Guthrie and Andy Alvarado, who graciously give up their, they volunteer to be the sponsor for this group. And Linda Finch, our associate principal, is also here this evening. So, all right, so with that said, I'm actually going to turn it over to the kids.
I'm Joanna, and I'm going to talk about how our school is involved with the community. Each year, the 2nd grade team invites the Garden City Fire Department to our school and discusses fire safety. 4th graders apply to work at Golden Dragon Credit Union. Students can deposit money weekly. Each grade level walks to Garden Valley once throughout the year to visit the residents. Student Josiah Murillo dances with the Marichinas. They perform for our school. Classrooms collected canned goods. American AG Credit helped count and deliver to the Maya's house. The objective was to cover your classroom door with cans. Successful classes won a Makerspace Party. After studying service animals and writing therapy courses, Magic and Charlie and therapy dogs Savannah and Murphy visited 3rd grade students to talk about their program. These are a few other ways our school brings in civic engagement. Fourth grade students wrapped gifts this December as a fundraiser for field trips. Student council members presented the gubernatorial candidates to the classrooms, and students participated in the school election. Laura Kelly won the mock election. Our school participated in the Superfit School Challenge. Challenge included 5 stations and served as a fundraiser for our school by students getting pledged to participate. Several community businesses sponsored the station.
This station was called Are You Smarter Than My Plate? Students were to toss the beanbag and give an example of a food group item.
This station was called Balancing Act. Students were through a series of balance beams in a variety of different movements. This station was called Up and Over. Students moved through an obstacle course. This station was called Hot Lava. Students were to jump only on the circles. This station's called In a Flash, and we're going to demonstrate how it works.
All right. I'm going to have Miss Sowers come up. She's also a member of our staff and explain how this game works.
We would like for you guys to participate. You guys like to participate? What you're going to do is I'm going to give you a card, and you have to decide if it's a sometimes food or an anytimes food. And the kids had to hop or jump or bear crawl or things like that. We'll just take big steps. And then we'll drop it in the orange bucket if it's a sometimes food, or if it's an anytime food, you will drop it in the blue bucket. Okay? He has a candy bar. Decisions. Good job. Yay, give it up. What do you have? Soda. Oh. I brought one today. And he has broccoli. Oh, come on, you can take bigger steps than that.
Split my pants.
You were active for this game. And grapes. Ooh. There we go.
Backwards.
Chips.
Are they whole grain?
So the kids would take different turns, and like I said, they did different movements when they went down. And we were playing music in the station. A lot of the kids said this was one of their favorites, and I think it was because of the music.
Very nice.
Good job, thank you for bringing it up.
Some community helpers include Golden Plains Credit Union, EMS, ROTC, State Catherine Hospital, and Fit Body Boot Camp.
Our school is divided up into 4 squads this year. The winning squad, Blue Squad, won recess with the athletes from GCCC.
Blue Squad will all the GCCC athletes. During Red Ribbon Week, we entered and won a photo contest for most parent involvement. Parents, police, and firefighters were invited to take part in our picture to promote a drug-free lifestyle. Mr. Drumbinsky from DCH Schools took the photo with his drone. Third grade students are a part of the Robotics Club, sponsored by Miss Mingan. We have 2 robots named Sadybot and Dragonbot. We participated in a practice tournament against the other schools in the district.
Which one is this, Dragonbot?
Sadybot, actually.
Sadybot.
Dragonbot doesn't look like Dragonbot anymore.
No.
Thank you for investing in technology for elementary students. This is a project I was able to complete in class with my iPad. We also use our iPad for showbiz, math, and writing.
Exploration Place provided STEM activities to our families. Students had to see, hear, and talk.
Off of it.
We're off of it.
Yeah,
Beatrice.
we're on number 25.
The first Friday of every month, we alternate meeting with our Dragon families in school, and our home families.
Dragon families have about 10 students per teacher or pair. Dragon families are multi-age. Each time we meet, we do a family activity. The first time we met with our home family's parents, were invited to participate in a math lesson. This month we had goodies with school groups.
In November, Exploration Place from Wichita this month created STEM experiments to students to promote the evening family event.
Exploration Place provided STEM activities to our family. To see, students had to see, hear, and feel vibrations using objects. Families engineered and construction tall towers.
Families explored liquids in various states.
Families build fractions in different ways.
Families learned about properties of materials.
Families engineered, constructed, and tested aluminum foil boats.
Families built towers.
Families built a maze for bombs.
Students used angles and a slingshot to try to hit a target.
And on Constitution Day, we gathered around the flagpole as a school and said the Pledge of Allegiance. So these are just a few of the things that we have done this year as a school to highlight our school. We thought it would be fun to show you our story in pictures. So that's all we have this evening, and we thank you for letting us come to tell you a little bit about our school.
Very nice. Board members, questions for students?
So how do you get on student council? Are you voted?
We got on student council, like they usually last year they had like a paper, and they decided with 2 people from every 3rd and 4th grade class. But this year they gave us the opportunity so we could actually show what we showed that we wanted to be on student council.
Students had to fill out an application, and from there, Mrs. Guthrie and myself selected students with the most noteworthy ideas, and from there they had to sign a contract agreeing to their responsibilities as school leaders.
You know, you guys did a fabulous job, and your school is so active in so many things, particularly with your families. I love that family night. I was a little curious on the exploration place. I hadn't heard that before, that they come all the way out here to assist a school like yours with discovery. That's pretty neat. That's fascinating.
Do you want to talk about that?
Plymouth had it a couple of years ago, and I contacted them to see if they would be able to come out, and we had 5 different schools that hosted them, and they did a science activity through the day for the children, and then at night for each family. And I know more schools contacted them to see if they would come back this spring semester, so.
That's wonderful. Any other questions for these fine students?
Do we have anybody else from Alta Brown in the audience?
We have a bunch.
Yeah.
Would you guys stand up?
All
Families
parents
too?
stand up
And
stand.
parents as well? And parents?
Mr. Silva standing already. Well, thank you all for being here. And students, we'd like you to file through. We'd like to congratulate you for your presentation and give you a pin here as well. So parents, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for your leadership on student health.
Thank you so much for coming. I just seen they'll do that.
Okay, I believe that brings us down to C3, recognition of Skillsusa grant winners. Who is doing that? Welcome to the board.
All right. Skillsusa is a community service organization made up of students in trade classes. Last semester we spent over 260 community service hours, such as like delivering over 400 food items to the Mays House with our third chance breakfast program, helping deliver Thanksgiving, Christmas foods, and foods from the Mays House to the Pershing Manor and the community people. We also raised funds for numerous community service projects, and for our last community service project this year, our 80+ Skillsusa members raised money for over new community service projects and community service grants. We will give $100 to one classroom in 1st through 4th grade, one classroom for 5th through 8th, one classroom from 9th through 12th, and allow students to choose community service projects to spend the money for.
We had about 18 different applications from different schools, and so it was kind of a neat opportunity for our kids to donate that money to those schools so they could in turn do community service projects themselves. One of them is the Hawk Pantry. One of them is they are making care packages for soldiers overseas. And then we've got our student organization, or Stuco at the high school, and they've got community service project they're going to use that money for as well.
Great. Questions from the board? I've got one while we're thinking is, now this is a grant that you received, and that was put out to a variety of other community service opportunities.
This is our students raised the money
Okay.
themselves. And then they're donating that money to these schools
Okay.
to use as community service projects.
About how many students are involved?
This year, we've got about 83 in skills this spring semester.
And how did you elect these two to represent all 80 of those folks? Right?
They were the best looking.
Besides the sponsor?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So how do you become a part of this group?
It's primarily a student organization, a CTSO, for trades-related classes, welding, drafting, those kinds of classes. The students can opt to be a part of the Skills USA organization. It's almost all community service. We've donated to Habitat for Humanity. We've built a lot of projects for Habitat for Humanity houses, but we've also donated to Red Cross, Hurricane Harvey relief, Kansas wildfires, and so the kids raise all the money, and they know that all this money that they raise is going for community service projects.
Outstanding. Well, thank you for your community service and representing the others in the program. Any more questions for these gentlemen? Steve?
So who came up with the idea to take the money and do it as grants for other community service projects? That's a pretty phenomenal idea and a way to give back.
We were just talking about it, the kids, we were talking about it in class. You know, we have fundraisers in the fall and the spring, and honestly, I don't know which student said, well, let's give it to somebody else and let them make a decision. In other words, I don't want to make a decision, let's let somebody else do it. And it kind of stemmed from there. Mr. Ming also wanted me to mention our third chance breakfast. You know, at the high school and maybe other schools, they have a second chance breakfast where the kids can go through after first hour and get breakfast. And it was a concern of ours that some of those items, those food items, were getting thrown away. Maybe they don't like apples, so they toss them in the trash can. Maybe they don't like sunflower seeds or whatever it was. And so we basically distributed boxes throughout the high school. And so instead of those kids throwing those food items away, they put them in a box. We collect them, and then every Friday we take all those products to Emmaus House.
So you didn't introduce yourself either. Can you tell us who you are? Raise your hand.
I'm Austin Ruth. I'm a senior. I'm Oscar Varela, and I'm also a senior.
And I'm Don Merle, welding teacher and Skills USA advisor. Yes.
Mr. Springston and I are here because our schools were the two elementary and middle school that got the $100 grants, and so we're here to say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Awesome sweatshirt.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Well done. Thank you for reading that.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for being
Okay, we're ready for agenda item C4, recognition of Crystal Apple Award finalists.
So I think we have all 6 people here tonight, so if you all would come forward, please.
All 6?
All 6. So as they're coming up, I really want to compliment them. This is a phenomenal program, and kind of reiterate that the school district really has, other than Roy working with the committee to help organize the process a little bit, we have no input into that process. It's all done through community members, through the Chamber of Commerce, and through the generous support of the sponsors of that program. But we had six of USD-457 teachers were chosen as finalists, and I want to introduce them, so if you would wave. Lana Bates from Horace Good Middle School. Sarah Drabinsky from Charles Stone's Intermediate Center. Violet Dubois from Horace Good Middle School.
And Kenneth Henderson.
Yes.
Don't forget.
That's right. Sarah Harris from Victor and Alice Elementary School. Barb Hilt from Garden City High School. And Dina Welch Haney from A. Hubert Elementary School. These were our 6 Crystal Apple finalists, and we are incredibly proud of all 6 of them. I will say that Violet, Sarah, and Sarah were the 6 that were, or the 3 that were chosen as our Crystal Apple winners, but all 6 of these ladies are phenomenal teachers, and we are so happy to have them in our district, and so glad that they were recognized for what they do with kids. So we really want to thank you for that and congratulate you on your selection as a finalist.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've been wanting to get you here before the board and the camera because of that. And thank you for taking your time tonight to come. And congratulations, and thank you for all that you do for USD-457.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Yes, about 3 at the same time. Hi, Lord. Thank you. I got my money.
You know, that all was just so wonderful, and particularly that last presentation. And now for something completely different.
It's going to be a great presentation. I've been on the committee. I heard the information. It's going to be great.
I know it will be. Agenda item C5, receive the district audit report. And then the background music is...
Sorry. Sorry, Mark. It's not going to happen.
No background music.
I can juggle all my junk.
I think most of you are familiar with me. I'm Teresa Dazenbrock. Standing in for Lisa though tonight is Tandra Wilson. She was involved in the audit process and is filling in, so she's going to run the slides for us. As we go, any questions you have as we go, feel free to interrupt. And we'll address them as we go through stuff. We thought we'd do the graph presentation as we've done in the past, so the numbers style format looks pretty familiar to you. This first graph is a comparison of the budget per pupil and the mill levy that you have in your general fund operations, just kind of to set the stage, and you're all aware of the difficulties you deal with the state funding, but just to make sure we're all on the same page as we move forward. State funding is the purple, pink, whatever color you want to call it there. Started in 1994 at $3,600 budget per pupil. Over time, we had a little bit of increase in there, but it's fallen back off. Not seeing much of an increase. In 2018, we were at $4,006. In 2019, that's going to $4,165. So about a $159 increase, which is nice, but when you look at this blue line, we're talking about what that 1994 $3,600 would be if we kept pace with inflation. with our state money. And you can see that gap has gotten wider as we've gone on. In 2018, it was $5,919 where we would have hopefully have been. In 2019, it's going to be $6,050. So we saw an increase of about $131 there. Fortunately, that was a little bit less than what the state's giving us. So the difference is narrowed, about $28 though. So the importance of this, you guys are still having to make up those expenses. So you're doing that through the local option budget, the cuts you've made over time, and such. So, this bottom line is the mill levy that's been in place to fund that general fund operations at the state level. It started out at 35 mills. It took a drop here till they've kept it now at 20 mills since 1999. So 20 years now. So that kind of sets some of the stage of the difficulties you know you're dealing with. Comparing your FTE, the budget per pupil, and the mill levy, the blue line here is the budget per pupil here at 457. This is reflective of all your funds, including capital outlay and building projects. So you'll see in 2010, we had a big jump there when we committed to building the new facilities we've added on to the district. That's come back down, stayed fairly constant. In 2018, we're at the $13,859 per FTE. The green line is our FTE itself. This is the audited number, but it is unweighted. And just because our scale is so large over there, it doesn't look like there's been that much change. However, we did have a low in 2014 of 7,097 students. 2018, we're back up to 7,330, projecting about 5 FTE increase for fiscal year 19. And then the red line there is the actual mill levy that the district's had across all of its levying funds. It's gone up from 2009 when we were at 36.422 mils, but that was because of the building bond and interest commitment the voters elected to do. In 2018, and really the same for 2019, you're at 48.8 mils. That mill levy is basically the same mill levy from 1994, 25 years ago. I'm looking at just some of the fiscal year 18 actual information. This first graph is expenditures across all your funds, and it's reflected by type. Now we do back out the transfers that occur between funds so that expenses aren't effectively doubled up. So percentage-wise, it's very similar to the prior year. It really shows, though, the importance of instruction, and it's not just this direct instruction area. When you're talking about instruction, student support services, transportation services, the food service operation, the healthcare and capers, which is largely the teachers, bond and interest for our building and facilities, the instructional support staff, operations and maintenance. All those things, we have to have them to provide that instruction to the students. Really, when you add those together, That's 90% of your total expenditures. So that's percentage-wise. If you look at it on our next graph, dollar-wise, you can readily see the dollars in those areas. Overall, that amounts to just over $116 million. So in direct expenses for instruction. You can see here in the current year, we did see some increases in the healthcare and capers area, largely a function of the capers funding at the state level. We saw direct growth in the instruction area itself. Then operations and maintenance has seen increases in recent years as your new facilities have come on board. Yes, Dr.
You mentioned the increase in the capers funding from the state level. Can you explain that to me?
Here at the district and for all of the school districts in the state, the employer's portion